A lasagna garden bed is a wonderfully simple way to start growing. We call it lasagna because we build it in layers, just like the famous pasta dish. You are not cooking pasta, of course. Instead, you are layering organic materials like cardboard, compost, and leaves right on top of the ground. This method is also known as no-dig gardening. The name tells you the best part: you do not need to do any hard digging. You don't break your back turning over heavy soil. We simply build a new, fertile growing area on top of what is already there, whether it is a patch of weedy lawn or compacted earth. The reason gardeners love this method is because it works with nature, not against it. When you dig soil, you disturb the incredible world of life that exists beneath your feet. You disrupt the networks of fungi, break up the homes of worms, and upset the delicate balance that healthy soil needs to thrive. With a lasagna bed, you protect that underground community. You feed it from the top down with rich organic matter. This creates a fantastic environment for your plants to grow strong and healthy, with far less work for you over the long term. It is a gentler, smarter way to garden. Imagine creating a beautiful, productive vegetable patch without ever lifting a heavy spade to break the ground. That is the promise of no-dig. You start by putting down a layer of cardboard to block out the light, which naturally smothers the weeds and grass underneath without any need for chemicals. Then, you add your layers of browns, like dry leaves or wood chips, and greens, like grass clippings or kitchen scraps. Finally, you top it all off with a thick, beautiful layer of compost. Your bed is ready for planting almost immediately. It is an instant garden bed, full of potential. This approach feels so right because it copies how nature builds soil. In a forest, nobody comes along to dig the ground. Leaves fall, branches break, and old plants die back, creating a rich layer of decomposing material on the forest floor. This is what feeds the towering trees and the delicate wildflowers. A lasagna bed is simply your own small version of that natural process. You are creating a system that builds fertility year after year. It is a method that saves your time, saves your energy, and results in healthier plants and a healthier garden ecosystem. It is truly a revolution in your backyard. To build your first lasagna garden bed, you will need to gather some simple materials. Think of these as the ingredients for your recipe. The most important base layer is cardboard. Make sure you use plain brown cardboard without any shiny coatings or plastic tape. Large boxes from appliances or deliveries are perfect for this job. The cardboard acts as a light-blocking barrier, which is the key to smothering the weeds or grass below without any digging. This is your foundation, setting the stage for a clean, weed-free start for your new garden bed, which is a wonderful feeling for any gardener. Next, you will need your brown and green layers. The brown materials are rich in carbon. These include things like dry autumn leaves, shredded newspaper, straw, or small wood chips. They provide structure and break down slowly over time. The green materials are rich in nitrogen. Think of fresh grass clippings, vegetable scraps from your kitchen, but no meat or dairy, coffee grounds, or pulled weeds that have not gone to seed. These materials break down more quickly, providing a boost of energy and heat to help the decomposition process get started. Gathering these is often free and helps you recycle waste. On top of these alternating layers, the most crucial ingredient is a good quality compost. This will be the final top layer of your lasagna bed. It is where you will plant your seeds or young plants. You can buy bags of compost from a garden center, or you can use your own homemade compost if you have a bin. This top layer should be about 4 to 6 inches deep. It provides immediate nutrients for your new plants and acts as a beautiful dark mulch. It is the lifeblood of your no-dig bed, full of beneficial microbes ready to support your vegetables. Once you have your materials, building the bed is straightforward and quick. First, lay your cardboard directly on the ground, overlapping the edges so no light can get through to the weeds below. Water the cardboard well to help it soften. Then, start adding your other layers. A layer of brown leaves, then a layer of green grass clippings, and so on. Aim for a total depth of at least a foot before your final compost layer. You do not need to be too precise, just alternate the materials. Finally, spread your thick layer of compost on top, and you are ready to plant. The real magic of a lasagna garden bed happens quietly beneath the surface. As time passes, the layers you have carefully placed begin to break down. This process is called decomposition, and it is driven by a vast, unseen army of soil life, earthworms, beneficial bacteria, fungi, and countless other microorganisms get to work immediately. They start to eat through the cardboard, the leaves, the kitchen scraps, and all the other organic matter you have provided. This is nature's recycling system, turning what was once waste into a treasure trove of nutrients for your plants. It is a slow, steady feast. This natural breakdown is what feeds your plants. Unlike in traditional gardening, where you might need to add chemical fertilizers, a no-dig bed creates its own food. As the earthworms tunnel through the layers, they pull organic matter down into the soil, creating channels for air and water. Their castings, which is a polite word for their poo, are one of the richest natural fertilizers you can get. The fungi create vast networks of fine threads called mycelium, which connect to your plant roots and help them access water and nutrients from a much wider area. Your garden becomes a self-sustaining ecosystem. One of the best parts of this system is how little work it requires from you. After the initial building of the bed, your main job is simply to add more compost on top, once or twice a year. You never need to dig or mix the layers. The soil life does all that work for you, and they do it far better than we ever could with a spade or a fork. By not digging, you are preserving their homes and their intricate networks. This means the soil structure improves year after year, becoming darker, richer, and more full of life. It is gardening that gets easier over time. Think of it this way. You are not just feeding your plants, you are feeding the soil, and when the soil is healthy, alive and full of nutrients, it will, in turn, feed your plants everything they need to be strong and resilient. They will be better able to resist pests and diseases. The soil will also hold on to moisture much more effectively, like a sponge, which means you will need to water less often. This beautiful, simple cycle is the heart of no-dig gardening. It is a partnership with nature, where you provide the ingredients and the soil life does the incredible work of creating a thriving garden. Traditional gardening often begins with a lot of hard physical work. The common advice is to prepare the soil by digging it over, often twice a year. This is called tilling or cultivating. The idea is to loosen the soil and remove weeds. After digging, gardeners often have to add bags of synthetic fertilizers to feed the plants directly. When pests appear, the usual response is to reach for a chemical spray. This approach sees the soil as something to be controlled and manipulated. It requires a lot of effort, from breaking the ground to constantly battling weeds that sprout in the disturbed earth. No-dig gardening offers a very different path, a much gentler one. Instead of digging and disrupting, we protect the soil structure. We suppress weeds by blocking their light with cardboard and mulch, rather than pulling them or turning them over. Instead of using chemical fertilizers that can harm soil life, we feed the soil with organic matter like compost. This in turn feeds the plants naturally. Pests are often less of a problem because the plants are healthier and more resilient, and the garden is home to a healthy population of beneficial insects that help keep pest numbers in check. Let's look at the weeds. When you dig, you bring dormant weed seeds from deep in the soil up to the surface, where the light and air cause them to germinate. This is why a newly dug bed can quickly become covered in weeds again. It is a never-ending cycle of work. In a no-dig garden, you leave those weed seeds buried. The mulch layer on top also makes it difficult for new weed seeds, blown in by the wind, to find a place to sprout. Any weeds that do manage to grow in the loose compost on top are incredibly easy to pull out. The difference in workload becomes very clear over time. The first year of traditional gardening involves heavy digging, so does the second, and the third. With no-dig, the initial setup of building the bed is the main task. After that, the annual maintenance is wonderfully light. It consists of simply adding a new layer of compost on top. This might take an hour or two, compared to days of digging. No-dig saves your back, saves your time, and allows you to focus on the enjoyable parts of gardening, like planting and harvesting your delicious, healthy food. It is a more sustainable approach for the gardener as well as the garden. When we look at the huge fields of industrial agriculture, we see a system that operates on a very different scale and with very different goals. Large-scale farming is built around powerful machinery, like massive tractors and plows. These machines are designed to do one thing very efficiently: till the soil. The entire industry, from equipment manufacturers to chemical companies, is based on this model of digging, planting, fertilizing, and spraying. The idea of not digging simply does not fit into this established and highly profitable system. It would make much of their expensive equipment and products unnecessary. Furthermore, big agricultural companies make enormous profits from selling things that no-dig gardeners have little need for. They sell huge quantities of synthetic nitrogen fertilizers, which are an essential part of the conventional farming cycle because tilling damages the soil's natural fertility. They also sell a wide range of chemical herbicides to kill the weeds that their own tilling helps to bring to the surface. And they sell pesticides to deal with the pest problems that often arise when crops are grown in large, unhealthy monocultures. A widespread shift to no-dig principles would represent a huge threat to their market. There is also a mindset of control that pervades industrial agriculture. The system is designed to impose human will upon the land, to maximize yield at all costs, even if it means degrading the soil over the long term. No-dig gardening requires a different mindset. It is about partnership with nature, not domination. It involves trusting the natural processes of the soil ecosystem to do the work. For a system built on mechanical and chemical solutions, this can seem unpredictable and less efficient. They prefer solutions that come in a bag or a bottle, which can be measured and applied according to a strict schedule. Finally, there is the issue of knowledge. The industrial model simplifies farming into a set of instructions. Plow at this time, apply this fertilizer, spray this chemical. It takes the skill and observation out of farming. No-dig, while simple in its principles, encourages the grower to pay attention to their specific environment, to learn about compost, and to observe the life in their soil. It returns power and knowledge to the individual grower. For large corporations, a world of independent, knowledgeable growers who don't need their products is not a profitable vision. They prefer a system that creates dependency, not independence. The best way to understand the power of no-dig is to see the results it produces. At my own garden, Homeacres in Somerset, I have been demonstrating the success of this method for many years. One of the most telling experiments I run is a side-by-side comparison of two beds. One bed is a no-dig bed, which gets an annual dressing of compost. The other is a dug bed, which is forked over every year before adding the same amount of compost. Year after year, the no-dig bed produces a greater weight of healthy vegetables. The plants are stronger, and there are far fewer weeds to deal with. This isn't just happening in my garden. All around the world, people are discovering the joy and abundance of no-dig. Take, for example, Tori Trakansobo, Sacred Dobo, for example, the story of a community garden in a busy city. They took over a neglected patch of land that was full of weeds and compacted soil. Instead of trying to dig it all up, they laid down cardboard and built lasagna beds on top. Within a single season, they were harvesting fresh vegetables, from lettuces to tomatoes. The project brought people together and transformed an eyesore into a productive green space, all without the backbreaking work of digging. Many home gardeners share similar stories. I often hear from people who were about to give up on gardening because the physical work was too much for them. They found digging exhausting and the constant battle with weeds discouraging. Then, they discovered no-dig. They tell me how it has completely changed their relationship with their garden. It has become a place of relaxation and joy, not a chore. They are amazed by the quality of the soil they have built in just a short time and the health of the plants they are now growing for their families. It has given them a renewed sense of purpose. Even on a larger scale, farmers are beginning to see the light. There are pioneering market gardeners who are applying no-dig principles to several acres of land. They are finding that they can produce high-quality, nutrient-dense food for their local communities with less reliance on machinery and fuel. They report that their soil's ability to hold water has improved dramatically, making them more resilient to drought. These real-world examples are powerful proof. They show that no-dig is not just a theory. It is a practical, effective, and rewarding way to grow, whether you have a small backyard or a small farm. The benefits of adopting a no-dig approach in your garden are immense, and they extend to your own well-being. The most immediate personal benefit is the reduction in hard physical labor. Gardening should be a pleasure, not a punishment. By eliminating the heavy task of digging, you save your back and your joints. This makes gardening accessible to people of all ages and physical abilities. It allows you to spend more time on the enjoyable aspects of growing food, like sowing, tending your plants, and of course harvesting. It brings a sense of ease and peace to your time outdoors. Beyond saving your body, no-dig gardening is incredibly beneficial for the soil, which is the foundation of a healthy planet. When you leave the soil undisturbed, you are protecting a complex and vital ecosystem. You allow the natural structure of the soil to develop with its intricate network of pores and channels created by worms and roots. This structure acts like a giant sponge, soaking up rainwater and holding it for your plants to use later. This means you need to water less often, conserving a precious resource. It also dramatically reduces soil erosion, as the healthy soil is not washed or blown away. A major environmental benefit of no-dig is its ability to store carbon in the soil. Healthy, undisturbed soil that is rich in organic matter is a huge carbon sink. The process of tilling and digging releases large amounts of stored carbon into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide, which contributes to climate change. By adopting a no-dig practice, you are actively helping to lock carbon away in the ground where it belongs and where it contributes to soil fertility. You are turning your small garden into a tool for positive environmental action, which is a very empowering feeling. Finally, the food you grow in a no-dig garden is often healthier and more nutrient-dense. The thriving soil ecosystem, with its network of beneficial fungi, helps plant roots to access a wider range of minerals and micronutrients from the soil. This leads to stronger plants that are better able to defend themselves from pests and diseases, reducing any need for chemical sprays. You can have complete confidence in the food you bring to your table, knowing it is fresh, clean, and grown in a way that respects the earth. It is good for you, and it is good for the planet. One of the most beautiful things about lasagna gardening is its incredible versatility. You do not need a large backyard or a perfect patch of earth to get started. This method can be adapted to almost any space and situation. If all you have is a small concrete patio or a balcony, you can still create a no-dig bed. You can build it directly inside a raised bed frame, a large container, or even a sturdy bag. The principles are exactly the same. You layer your cardboard, organic matter, and compost to create a rich growing medium from scratch, without needing any existing ground at all. This method is also very kind to your wallet, making gardening accessible even on a tight budget. Many of the materials you need can be found for free. You can collect cardboard boxes from local shops, who are often happy to give them away. You can gather fallen leaves from your neighborhood in the autumn. Your own kitchen provides a steady supply of vegetable scraps and coffee grounds for your green layer. By being resourceful, you can build a highly productive garden bed for very little cost, proving that growing your own food does not have to be an expensive hobby. No-dig gardening is a wonderful starting point for complete beginners. The process can feel intimidating if you think you need to know all about soil pH and complex fertilizers. Lasagna gardening simplifies everything. The instructions are straightforward and forgiving. There is no wrong way to layer your leaves and grass clippings. The main goal is just to build up a pile of organic matter and top it with compost. This simplicity gives new gardeners the confidence to just start. Success comes quickly as plants thrive in the rich compost, which provides a huge boost of encouragement to keep going. No matter your circumstances, whether you are young or old, have a big garden or a tiny balcony, have lots of money or very little, you can do this. You can start small. A single bed, perhaps 3 feet by 4 feet, or about 1 by 1.2 meters, is all you need to begin. You can grow a surprising amount of food in a small space, from fresh salad greens and herbs to radishes and bush beans. The important thing is to begin. You will learn as you go, and you will be amazed at what you can produce with this simple, gentle, and powerful method. When you build your first no-dig lasagna bed, you're doing more than just planting a garden. You are joining a quiet and powerful movement that is growing all around the world. It is a movement of people who are choosing a better way to grow their food, a way that is kinder to the earth, kinder to their bodies, and more connected to the natural world. Every time someone lays down a piece of cardboard instead of starting up a tiller, it is a small act of revolution. It is a vote for healthy soil, clean water, and a more sustainable future for everyone. This gentle revolution is built on sharing and cooperation, not competition. Gardeners who practice no-dig are often eager to share their knowledge, their experiences, and even their compost. You will find a welcoming community online and in your local area, full of people who are happy to offer advice and encouragement. It is a journey of learning together, celebrating each other's successes, from the first sprout that pushes through the compost to the joy of a bountiful harvest. This sense of connection adds another layer of richness to the experience of growing your own food. The message of No Dig is one of hope and empowerment. It tells us that we do not have to accept a food system that damages our planet and relies on chemicals. It shows us that we, as individuals and as communities, have the power to create change right in our own backyards. By nurturing a small patch of soil, we learn valuable lessons about the cycles of nature, about patience, and about the rewards of working in partnership with the earth. This is knowledge that strengthens our resilience and deepens our appreciation for the world around us. So I encourage you to take that first step. Find some cardboard, gather some leaves, and make a space for a new garden bed. Do not worry about making it perfect. Just begin. Trust in the process. Trust in the soil life that will soon be working for you, and trust in yourself. You are about to embark on a wonderful adventure that will feed your body and your spirit. Welcome to the No Dig community. Welcome to the gentle revolution. You will be amazed at the abundance you can create with such a simple, joyful, and intelligent way of gardening.